faded film has long been a symbol of authenticity, not because it's perfect, but precisely because it isn't. Scratches on celluloids, grain in photographs, hiss in tape recordings. These were marks of use, of time passing over the medium itself. But now we no longer wait for decay to happen naturally. We simulate it with a click of a filter or a few lines of code. The result is that our sense of what feels real becomes untethered from actual history. We begin to trust not what was, but what looks like it was. We've become so comfortable with simulated memory that we no longer question it. We apply film grain to digital photos, not just as a stylistic choice, but as a kind of historical performance. But the more convincingly technology fakes authenticity, the less reason we have to care about what's real. This is where trust begins to erode, not in one big lie, but in the quiet accumulation of believable fakeness that passes for truth.
Digital restoration is not merely about preserving pixels. It's about resurrecting intent. Through spectral analysis and AI-assisted in painting, we reconstruct not only form, but the artist.
Roland Barthes once described photographs as having a unique power. They are proof of something that has already happened. There is no code to break. Only evidence, and unchallengeable this was so. But what happens when we can manufacture the look and feel of memory itself? With software sliders, we now simulate the patina of the past in seconds. The realness Barthes found inherent in photography today lives in a box labeled a vintage filter. And here is where something strange begins. If authenticity can be after that clip, notice how the line between decay and design has blurred. In a world where we can simulate memory, we lose not just context, but consequences. A photo no longer tells you what was. It tells you what should be remembered, the result. We begin to trust algorithms more than experience. And when every image is curated for emotional impact, before the moment even happens, truth becomes optional.
This electronic oscillation can then be shown. It forms a wave pattern.
The more we try to detect forgeries, the better they become, and the harder it is to know which version of reality is real. This isn't just a technical dilemma, it's an existential one. Every time we create tools to expose deepfakes, we inadvertently train the algorithms that generate them. The result: an arms race where truth becomes not only unrecognizable, but actively dangerous to believe in. Digital decay no longer means loss of data, it's performance. Software now simulates cracks, textures, and grain in images that never existed in the physical world. What was once a sign of age or damage is now an aesthetic choice. We're not archiving memory, we're staging it, curating nostalgia for content we've only ever seen online. Neil Postman warned that when a technopoly replaces politics with technology, meaning is redefined by code. He foresaw an era where memory wasn't preserved, but produced, a manufactured past, shaped by the tools we use to access it. What does it mean to remember if every trace of our history is now curated by algorithms? If nostalgia becomes a product, then so too does truth. The line between remembering and simulating blurs until one can no longer tell which is real. Roland Barthes described how the photograph creates a paradox. It holds temporal anteriority, but spatial immediacy. A still image carries proof of having been there, even as it never truly recreates that moment's presence. Now, AI images do more than just simulate. They fabricate a convincing past where none existed. These deepfakes don't merely mimic memory. They become memory for those who consume them. We no longer remember. We project into fabricated time. Baudrillard called this process hyperreality, a world where simulations replace the originals. And we can no longer tell what is real from what feels authentic. The last picture show was mistaken for a film from its setting, not because it looked old, but because it felt like it did. In our current moment, nostalgia sells because authenticity doesn't matter anymore. What matters is how it makes us feel, and that feeling can be manufactured.